Well, it looks like we've got some exciting news about Marvel's plans for the future of the MCU. Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, has officially dubbed the next saga the Mutant Era. Now, you might think this means Marvel's gonna be all about mutants for the next few years, and you'd be right. But that's not the whole story. See, Marvel's got more up their sleeve than just mutants. In fact, it seems like Feige is finally getting back to a plan he announced a long time ago. This is what Marvel Studios has been wanting to do for a while now, but let's face it, they've had a rough go of it lately. Phase 4 and Phase 5 hit some pretty big roadblocks. We're talking writer strikes, actor strikes, the pandemic, and let's not forget the whole Jonathan Majors situation. All of this led to some major changes, including bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and swapping out Kong for Doctor Doom as the big bad. So, we're gonna wrap up this current saga with all the multiverse stuff, Doctor Doom, and the Avengers. But after that, that's when things get really interesting. Marvel's planning to introduce some new aspects to the MCU, different sides we haven't seen before. Now, we've got some reports that help clear things up a bit. Daniel RPK, a pretty reliable source for Marvel News, dropped some info that's got fans buzzing. He says Ghost Rider is gonna be the leader of the Midnight Suns. Yeah, you heard that, right? Remember when we heard the Midnight Suns movie was back on? Well, it looks like Marvel's not just working on it, they're going all in. But let's talk about the bigger picture here. Marvel's not just focusing on one team or one character. They're setting up multiple new leaders and teams for the mutant saga. It's like they're building a whole new foundation for the MCU. First off, we've got the X-Men. I mean, you can't have a mutant saga without the X-Men, right? But Marvel's not just gonna drop them into the MCU and call it a day. They're gonna build them up, introduce key characters, and really establish their place in this universe. Then there's the Fantastic Four. We've been waiting for Marvel's first family to make their MCU debut for a while now, and it looks like they're gonna play a big role in the mutant saga. They're not mutants, sure, but their connection to cosmic events and alternate dimensions makes them perfect for bridging the gap between the current MCU and what's coming next. But it's not just about the big names. Marvel's also looking at some of their lesser-known properties. We've already mentioned the Midnight Suns, but there are rumors about other teams like the Thunderbolts and the Young Avengers getting more spotlight. And let's not forget about individual characters. We've got new heroes like Ironheart and America Chavez who've already been introduced, plus others like Nova and Moon Knight who are rumored to be getting their own projects. These characters could be the new faces of the MCU, leading us into this new era. Now, you might be wondering, what about the old guard? Well, it looks like Marvel's planning a mix of old and new. We'll probably see some familiar faces mentoring the new generation, passing the torch in a way. But don't expect them to stick around forever. This is about building a new MCU for a new era. One thing that's really interesting is how Marvel's approaching this new saga. They're not just thinking about individual movies or even phases anymore. They're planning long-term, thinking about how all these pieces fit together over multiple years and multiple projects. It's a pretty ambitious plan when you think about it. They're not just introducing new characters, they're reshaping the entire MCU. The mutant saga isn't just about adding mutants to the mix. It's about expanding the scope of what the MCU can be. And let's be real, they need to do this. The MCU has been going strong for over a decade now, but to keep fans engaged, they need to keep things fresh. By bringing in these new elements, these new teams and leaders, they're giving us a reason to stay invested. But it's not gonna be easy. Marvel's got a big challenge ahead of them. They need to introduce all these new elements while still keeping the spirit of what made the MCU great in the first place. It's a delicate balance, and it'll be interesting to see how they pull it off. One thing's for sure, though, Marvel's not playing it safe. They're swinging for the fences with this one. The mutant saga could be the biggest shakeup the MCU has seen since, well, ever. So, what does all this mean for us fans? Well, it means we've got a lot to look forward to. New characters to fall in love with, new teams to root for, and new stories to get lost in. It's like we're getting a whole new MCU, but with all the history and world building of the original. And let's not forget, this is just the beginning. Marvel's playing the long game here. The mutant saga is just the start of what could be a whole new chapter for the MCU. We could be looking at years, maybe even decades, of new stories and characters. It's an exciting time to be a Marvel fan, that's for sure. We're on the cusp of something big, something that could reshape the superhero landscape as we know it. And personally, I can't wait to see what Marvel's got in store for us. So, there you have it, Marvel's new focus for the MCU, their plans for Phase 7, and the new leaders and teams we can expect to see. It's a lot to take in, but one thing's clear, the future of the MCU is looking brighter than ever. As we wrap this up, I gotta say, I'm pumped to see how all this plays out. Will the X-Men live up to the hype? Can the Fantastic Four finally get the MCU treatment they deserve? And just how wild is this mutant saga gonna get? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, it's gonna be one hell of a ride. So buckle up, Marvel fans, the best is yet to come.